Hello guys, welcome to a new video on Tower of God New World, and in this video we're going to talk about Shilial and do our character review. As we already did in the previous ones, we're going to talk about how good this unit is, how are skills, exclusive equipment, gear, ignition weapon, report, and that's pretty much all. So yeah, let's get started by talking about how good this unit is, and I would say Shilial, I already ranked her in my tier list, you might have noticed. Now I would say the ranking I gave her is pretty much final. I gave her B plus when she's fully invested in, and C plus when she's just like 3 red or something like that. The reason for that, you will see also in the explanation that I wrote, she's a better Urek one-shotter than Misang is, and you will see that Misang is ranked at A or A plus. Not remember, but yeah, I think A plus. So you might say, she's better than Misang, why are you giving her a lower rank? And the reason why is that one, Misang only needs 3 red for her to do her job, and she doesn't need any additional unit. If you use Shilial, you absolutely need her Rainbow 5, and you also need to use BAM with her. Otherwise, she's not going to cast the special skill as the first skill, and that's the skill you want to amplify with the Rayana set. So, I mean, the amount of investment and the fact that you're pretty much locking your BAM to be used with her is really not a great thing, in my opinion. You might say, okay, but just use Shilial in the yellow comp and use the yellow comp against Urek. The issue with that is that Shilial's passive works with the green allies you have. So the more green allies you have, the more attack she has, and that's going to help killing Urek at higher deficit. If you remove 3, like you're already removing 1 to use BAM with her, so if you're also removing 2 more to use Hiwa and Evan, that's really a mess already, I would say. You're probably not going to, like, at that point it's not going to be worth it, because Misang can probably do pretty much the same job as a Shilial with only 1 green ally, I would say. So at that point it's really unnecessary. I don't know. That's the whole reason why Shilial is lower ranked than Misang, in my opinion. In lower floors, you can use her as a DPS, pretty sure, because of like the evasion she gets. Lower floors where enemies have low accuracy, totally fine. She can survive and she can deal a ton of damage. I'm sure of it because, like, my current floor, she survives at times, and when she does, the damage she deals is actually quite high. Even though I'm running her with Rayana, she can still deal a lot of damage. So I would say not a bad unit, potentially early on, but then later on when the enemies have a lot of accuracy, due to the fact that this unit is a mage, if she were an assassin, sure, her rank would have been A tier minimum, I would say, probably even higher. But with the fact that she's a mage, so she has 100 evasion less than a ranged or an assassin, that's really going to impact her availability or her performance overall. And if you are like me, you already removed evasion from the entry. If you're around, I think, floor 43, it already makes sense to remove evasion from the True Essence facility here in the int attribute. And at that point, she's really going to be only used as a one-shotter for Urek, and that's pretty much all. So for all these reasons together, that's my final ranking. I would say definitely do not invest in her as a first unit. Maybe later on, if you really like her design, if you are, I don't know, in need of a Urek one-shotter and, I don't know, Misang is not enough, whatever. It's really also difficult for me to recommend her in any circumstance. I would say just if you have a lot of resources to spare and you want to max her, go for it. But I would say the majority of you guys are not going to be in that position to just say, okay, yeah, I don't have any better units to invest in, let's just invest in Shilial. I don't think that's going to be the case. So I would say for most of you, ignore her. That's probably the best decision overall. But enough of that, let's just go over the skills really quickly. Let's filter by green because now there are really a lot of units. Okay, here we have Shilial. Let's look at the skills first. So the passive, she's going to deal AoE damage with the basic attack. We already remember that. She's going to get, as I mentioned before, 24% attack for every green element ally other than herself. So again, if you're running her in a yellow team comp, and probably one additional green like Zahard, Shilial. Well, if you have Zahard, you don't really need one to kill Urek. Let's say Ren, Shilial, and then you're running three um, three yellow units, the usual Evan, Iwa, and Bam. If you're doing that, it's just going to be a 24% increase attack, really nothing much. You're going to get stacks that are going to increase your accuracy and evasion every time you deal damage to 2 or more enemies with skills or basic attacks. Okay, cool. You're going to start with the exclusive equipment with 5 stacks, and the max stacks will be increased to 15. Not a bad passive overall. You're going to get 160 without the exclusive equipment to like 240. Yeah, I think 240. 240 accuracy and evasion. That's definitely a ton of accuracy and evasion. If she was an assassin again, she would have been really awesome, but she's not, so whatever. And then you cannot lose the stacks against Urek, basically, at the moment. That's fine. Then we have Wicked Extortion. This is going to be a multi-hit attack that attacks in an AoE. It's 120% times 8, quite a ton of damage. And if you crit with the last attack, the exclusive equipment is going to give you guaranteed hits and dodges for like 6 seconds. So not a bad skill. I didn't check, to be honest, the frequency of this skill to see if it also made sense to run her with slot 5 crit rate for a no one-shot Shilial, obviously. If you're going for a one-shot Shilial, you want her with physical pierce in slot 5, but if you are using her as a carry, if you can make her work in the lower floors, then you might want to go with a crit rate piece in slot 5 because she has no increases to crit rate by like in her kit, so it would be a good choice probably. Then we have the Black Snakefish Venom. This is going to be an increase again in accuracy and evasion for each green element ally. So again, if you only have one because you're running her in a like non-full green comp or in a yellow comp, this effect is not really going to be that impactful. And this is also the first skill that she always casts at the beginning of the fight. So really, really important for like a normal use, I would say. So not a normal use, but like a carry use Shilial. This is a really nice skill. If you're using her in a full green team, it's going to be an additional 160 accuracy and evasion with the passive is 400 in both, and they're both going to last 10 seconds. So overall, if she was an assassin, she would have been a beast. But like looking at the current stage with her being a mage, I don't know. It's really, really strange. Every time you dodge or you evade an attack, you're going to deal 400% AoE damage around you. Not bad. Unfortunate that there is the 1 second cooldown. It would have been probably too broken otherwise, but still a really good skill overall. And she's always going to cast this first, so it's a nice thing. Then we have the special skill, and this skill is going to deal 600% attack as damage 3 times to the enemy's viewing range. The range is not that big. Like I thought it was bigger, but it really doesn't seem so. So I don't know. Kind of disappointing in the AoE aspect, but definitely the damage is not bad because she has a lot of attack. So it's a really, really good percentage. Then we have The cunning effect, if you have 5 or more stacks, which are going to, if you have the exclusive achievement unlocked at like level 4, so the last one, the plus 31, you're going to immediately also poison enemies and deal an additional total 1000% attack. So 200% every second for 5 seconds. She's immune to status effects while using this skill. So overall, the damage is nice. Her attack multiplier, like her base attack, is really high. So this multiplier is really, really huge. And with the Ryan effect, the damage is really, really insane. Then we have the exclusive achievement. I already mentioned a few of the points. So the level 3, the one that when you crit with the last hit of Wicked Extortion, you're going to get the always evade attacks for 6 seconds, really, really huge. And you're also going to get the 5 stacks with a plus 30 effect. Then we have duration of Black Snakefish Venom, which is the barrier that gives you accuracy evasion, and also the AoE damage when you evade is going to last 12 seconds instead of 10. Really important as well, I would say, for carry Shilial, I'd say. If there is only one enemy at the start of the battle, so level 1 is only for boss fights. If you are using her against bosses, she's going to get the stacks whenever she hits the boss and not when she hits 2 or more enemies. It's okay. I don't know if she's really useful against bosses. I haven't really tested her in that aspect, so I will wait for like the people that know more than me on bossing to let me know if she's usable or not, basically. So yeah, I really want to say that if she, like the fact that she's a mage is really crazy to me. Really, she only needed to be an assassin. She would have been a lot more useful. You could have tried more like builds with her. Now, really, I don't know. It's really, really strange. Now, let's also quickly talk about the equipment, the gear. So, you obviously want slot 1. You don't necessarily need the accuracy because you are a mage. You already have a lot of it, and she can boost it really easily. But, more accuracy is always good. So, I would say this piece is a lower priority now. Probably slot 3 is higher priority than slot 1. I would say slot 3 is the mandatory one. You need all the evasion you can get, and this 48 accuracy is often enough. Because you only need to have more accuracy than the enemy evasion, but you need to have a lot more evasion than the enemy accuracy if you want to dodge a lot more frequently. So definitely more important slot 3 than slot 1. You want the additional damage for both the carry option and the one-shot option. You want as much crit rate and crit damage as you can. So definitely level slot 2 as your second priority after slot 3. The resistances are not really important for the one-shot one. So if you are using her as a one-shot unit, then you don't necessarily need this one. If you're using her as a carry, is a really important piece as well. And probably this one has the same priority as slot 4, I would say. But again, if you have the resources, just max them all out, and that's fine. The next point is going to be ignition weapon. For this point, I usually, because I'm only using her as a one-shot unit, I'm running her with Ryana. You only need slot 1 maxed for the additional attack and slot 5 for the physical pierce, and that's pretty much all. If you want to use her as a carry, I would say there are 2 options. Probably one, the L set with crit rate, like probably this one. If you have a lot of evasion in the Triessence facility still for the int Triessence facility, then sure, probably L is going to be a good option. L is also going to proc whenever you crit with your Wicked Extortion, so I would say L with crit is really nice as a combo. If you want to go for a tankier version, I'm sure Bergamot with, like for example, let's say this one. So a Bergamot with magic resistance in slot 4 and physical resistance in slot 5 is definitely a good option as well. You want as much physical pierce and crit rate in the passives, probably tilting more towards the physical pierce, I would say. No, no, probably the crit rate still. You're not going to have a lot of it, but still, the more, the merrier if you're going to have the dodge on top. I don't know. Like for this one, if you're hit with the resistances, is also quite fine. I would say crit rate and physical pierce have pretty much the same priority, to be honest. But I'm not sure this is a viable option. Again, I would say she's just average with the fact that she's a mage as a carry, so I wouldn't bother too much. The damage is there. She has really high multipliers, really high attack stats, so the damage could be there. It's just the survivability is lacking. So I'm not sure. Maybe if we were running her with an Evan Rainbow 5, but then you lose all the like evasion part of the kit is not really that relevant anymore, and like which carry is not good with a Rainbow 5 Evan. I don't know. Whatever, I was just digressing on useless stuff, but okay. For Rapport, I would say, okay, mine also doesn't have the Rapport 6. It's not as mandatory, but still, if you're not leveling up the gear slot 1, then definitely go for Rapport 6. If you already have the slot 1 for the gear at like +5, then you don't necessarily need to go for the Rapport 6. You can prioritize the other units that are using the Stilettos gifts here. So, whatever. Obviously, she's kind of a carry. If you're using as a carry, nah, even then it's really not necessary, guys. It's okay. If you have spare gifts, give her, then sure do. But the evasion one is mandatory and is probably all you need, to be honest. Then I would say, guys, that was all for her. I already showcased the comp in the previous video, so there's no need to showcase it here as well. But as I said, it's just her next to Bomb, Bomb with a Rune effect that gives additional energy to her as well. So she's going to start the battle by casting the special skill and getting the Ryan effect applied to that. That's the whole comp. It's not really a comp, it's just like 2 units that work well together, and then you have to add 3 green units for the additional attack for Shilial. That's pretty much all. So guys, I hope you like this review. Let me know if you have any comments, anything you want to clarify or to ask. Feel free to do so in the comment down below or in my Discord server. If you like the video, please drop a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!